Now let's see if we can get another Sully in here. The big Sully. There's Ben Feldman. The real Ben Feldman. You know, I was duped once before with a fake Ben Feldman. Regrets. What's up? DK Grape Juice, Misty. Abu Kitty. Night Marauder. Oh my gosh, so many people. Raid. And there's my wife. And a Funko Fuker. Good name. Chevy Superstar. Rad Cuban Gamer. Corey Thompson. Good friend of the show, Corey Thompson. Oh, there's the other one.
The other one? The other one has a name.
Yeah.
Oh, look, the emotes come through. Nice.
Yeah, that's nice looking. Looking good, everybody.
Yard. Well, I'm afraid I do have our notes coming up here, but I do not have
music and whatnot.
No, that would have been a whole other level of thought process I wasn't prepared for. I do not see the notes.
Scuba Funka Photo Lady.
I don't see the notes.
Sully versus Sully. Bing. No, it needs to be this way.
Oh, and I did it wrong too. Leave it to us.
Yeah.
All right, let me bring up at least my
echoes.
I can't see the stream. Make sure you don't have it running anywhere else. I might be the one causing the problem there.
Everything else is down. I don't have anything else broadcasting.
It's probably me.
Are we all super naughty?
Close this.
I mean, Matt people like me. Poovies. Welcome to Poovie Retakes. We talk the crappiest movies possible. Some good ones in there too. Elizabeth Keys. Fantastic. I recognize a few people coming to my writing streams. It's time for a personal plug. So I am also streaming these days. You can find me at Matt C. Sully on Twitch. Doing a lot of writing streams. So if you are a writer, well, thank you, Elizabeth. That's very kind of you. We have a couple people coming in, starting to be regulars, so it's nice to hang out and chat about books and just sort of the writing process. You've been lurking, Misty. Okay.
Do we still have an echo, or was I able to stop it, gang?
NaNoWriMo with Boo Kitty. Book Kitty for this month. No echo.
Okay.
Well, thanks for coming over, guys. What'd you do over on your stream?
Oh, well, I unboxed the new Xbox Series X. That was a lot of fun. And then we played some Rocket League, which I said would be my first game, even though it doesn't have 4K or anything that would make a difference. And then we played Tetris Effect multiplayer, Connected, and that was fun, even though we never got to play anybody in multiplayer. Look at this, 90 people.
That's great. Yeah, no bother there, Misty. We can talk about whatever. You come on and you want to talk about books and stuff. I try and feature some other authors, and we can talk about whatever. I mean, obviously, I'm interested in other things. So if you want to talk movies on the writing stream, I won't be offended. Okay, but if you want to formally get started, I don't know. It's up to you.
Let's do this. No music, but I will read our intro here. I'll have to figure out how to loop the music in later. In the cinematic sea of prequels, sequels, reboots, and reimaginings, the Movie Retakes podcast considers the merits and desires for Hollywood's new takes on our beloved movie classics. Brothers Matt and Chris Sully examine the latest retake franchises, pitch their own original retake visions, and share their love for the movies that made them. I'm your host, Big Sully.
And I'm the other Sully, Matt C. Sully. The C stands for Cool. It doesn't. It doesn't ever stand for that.
I know what it stands for, but I won't out you.
Oh, I appreciate that. There's only a couple people here who know. Kooky. That is it. That'll be my next call.
There's always somebody building a dossier on all of us when we're live, so you don't want to give away too much information. If they ask you what your mom's name was before she married Dad, don't ever tell them. That's a trick.
Okay.
Don't fall for it.
Cool S Sully and Matt Cool Sully. That's right. Cool runs in the family.
Stupid.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys coming over. We are trying out a new thing here, doing Twitch instead of YouTube. I don't know if you're recording this so that you might then plug it over into YouTube later, but if not, whatever. We're having a good times with the live, and love to get to chat with you guys. You know, we do the podcast where we yap at each other and then send it out in the world, and you listen. I know the people that are listening and downloading, and we appreciate it, but it's nice to actually get to talk with you guys. So I want more interaction.
One of the cool things we can do here on this stream, and one of the reasons why we're using StreamYards, is we can highlight your messages, like this one from Display Geek, who is further proving my point, trying to build a dossier on us all. Funko Lover 30.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that's great. All the questions to get into my bank. And those are so generic. Like, why would you do that? Yeah, I saw that one too. I don't know. I wonder. I think I have a yearbook somewhere. I could probably find a picture, but I won't do that to you if you're not going to share the name. The name of your first grade teacher. What else do they do?
Movie retakes ended unexpectedly this week when one Sully outed the other with pictures of his cheerleading days.
Yeah. Uh-oh. It's going to happen at some point.
Who's your favorite brother? I only have the one. He's my favorite.
I'm the favorite brother of me. No. Yeah. We always had a good time. There are. That's a good point. Wow. Yep. My wife was a cheerleader as well. How's that steak, Cody? That's right. The Trojans.
For a split second, it was on the screen. That was a hint.
Safety first. The Trojans. Okay. Yeah, you guys are nailing it. Well, I think we can just let them go ahead and manage the stream. We're just going to highlight your comments from here on out.
Yeah, just one after another. Just highlight every comment.
Stirring the pot. Today, obviously we talk about all kinds of stuff on the podcast, usually covering certain franchises. And I know if you've been listening to the recent episodes, I'd like some feedback on that too, since we're changing formats from time to time. What'd you guys think of the special, the Halloween special? What'd you think of the Sean Connery special? Hopefully you enjoyed it. I think we enjoyed making both of those. Well, enjoying making the Sean Connery one. No, it was sad, but it was nice to talk about his movie career and what it meant to us. Well, thank you to both of you. Oh, great. Okay, I'm glad you like that. So we probably will, based on the fact that things are a-changing in the movie world. Emote away. Swing away, Meryl. And we probably will have some different formatted episodes, but we are going to sneak in some of the regular old format as well, so that we can do some of those pitches that everybody enjoys. But today, on the live, since we are talking about change in the movie industry, I want to talk about movie theaters and what they're going to be like in the future. So you guys jump in and, tell me what your predictions for the movie theaters are going to be like. And I'm going to read a little bit of stuff here for you. So news of money trouble with AMC theaters has only gotten worse as blockbuster moneymakers further extend their release dates. Black Widow, you know all these. No Time to Die, they're all getting moved to 2021. The few movies left to save 2020, mainly Wonder Woman, may not do enough at the box office. Tenet sure didn't. And I won't be surprised at all when they all get pushed to next year. AMC's attendance is down by 85%, and they project their end-of-cash runway is sometime in early 2021. Regal has closed its chain of theaters again, as well as the UK-based chain Cineworld. I don't know how many people we have over in the UK. Let me know if there's any update on Cineworld, if you got any of those open. 2019, the film industry generated $15 billion in box office revenue in North America so far, and there's not much left in 2020. The total domestic box office gross is $5 billion.
Still.
Think about that.
Wow.
Even that sounds impressive, but I'm willing to guess most of that came before the lockdown.
Yep.
That first quarter, probably. Now, some movies have been abandoning their theater release to go video on demand or streaming. The choice, which began in Trolls World Tour, initially sent some movie chains into a rage. They've since chosen to adapt. In July, AMC altered its normal release agreements with Universal, holding 17 days of exclusivity over films instead of the normal 70. So 17 instead of 70. That's very interesting. After the 17-day holding period, Universal and sister studio Focus Features can release those same films on the streaming platforms. So a very small window of time where it's even going to be in the theater. And thinking about it, really, that's when you know if you're going to make the money, like those early weekends. So why not? But it is interesting for the future of what that really means for cinema and how long movies are going to be in there. So while most of us view this time as temporary hiatus from theaters, we intend to return as soon as possible. The theaters we knew before this pandemic simply might not exist after it's over. So what does that mean? I see a few options. One, theater chains we know return with far fewer theaters. Two, we have new names coming in to take over existing theaters. We may have a whole new chain that we've never heard of before. This is an opportunity, for somebody big to come in and just buy it all out. Possibly number three, a new union of production companies and or streaming services such as Amazon theaters offering maybe early access movie subscriptions where a viewer can see films in the theater or at home. Amazon Prime theaters. I won't be surprised if that's something we get. Or number four, having an outreach there, outlier, a different approach to theaters altogether. Private screening rooms rather than theaters. A ticket which lets you select from a larger catalog rather than just the one movie. Something to that effect. And a lot of this is going to depend on when theaters open. Do they still want to take the same approach with these large theaters, right? Like what? I don't want to be a doomsayer, but what if this happens again? And they need to be prepared in the future that they can't have these giant rooms that are then just going to be empty. So there's a lot to consider. But this is a reset opportunity of sorts in the industry, a time to reevaluate the life of a movie after it's made. For companies like Netflix and Amazon, Disney and Apple, this might be a time for powerhouse moves. I don't think theaters will just go away. We love them too much. I just don't know what the term theater will mean the next time we buy a ticket.
We got some good comments with thoughts that we've talked about a little bit before, and then I've got my own theory on what might happen. Of course, Fredo and many others want to see more straight to digital and streaming, which is great to be able to see stuff in the comfort of your own home. Many of us are able to afford larger televisions and surround sound systems now, which we're not. I mean, you can get a 70-inch LED television for like $600 these days with all the built-in software to do all the streaming and then your internet connection. I mean, in a given year, that pays for itself and what you'd save not going to the movies, Yeah. You could do that, or drive-ins. Boo Kitty stated, I would love it if drive-ins made a huge comeback, which we've seen some of those trying.
We went.
The experience is fun, but it doesn't replace because I like it. I like the feeling of a drive-in, but I don't want it to replace my seeing Tenet or Aliens or a Terminator film or something that's a big budget surround sound fest. The next Jurassic Park. You can't do that with your surround sound in your car, I don't think.
No, it's definitely different. But that's again old school thinking. Like these are drive-ins as they are now. What if that changes?
Yes, agreed.
And somebody had the comment about Targaryen Puma there renting out whole theaters for $100. And I remember I didn't see the pricing, but I remember people talking about how it was cheap now to rent out a whole theater. And that kind of goes over into my thinking with, instead of a giant theater that people are renting out, what if they have these smaller rooms where you get together with 20 people in a room? Then it's more of, they don't have to worry about renting out these large spaces. If something like this happens again, they could still have like entrances that could just go, you have your bubble of people that it's fine you hang out with, but you have for those that maybe can't afford, or even if they have a great sound system and setup at home, this is still better if you go, they'll have a much better setup. I do too. I love the theater. We went, when we could, a couple of times during this as well. So I saw Tenet, saw Possessor, we saw SpongeBob, and it was fine. It's risky, I suppose, but there weren't many people there, and the setup was pretty good. Here, I gotta get all the new comments, not scrolling in.
Yeah, once you highlight one, it's a shame it doesn't pick back up immediately. But
you got a projector, that's cool.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
And you can do that fairly inexpensively. In fact, our mother got a bigger house a couple years ago, and she had like a theater room in there, and I helped her set it up. We got the projector, a surround sound system, and I ordered this build your own screen that's the same quality as the screens they have at theaters, and did the whole thing for like $2,000. And it was really nice. That's how I'd like to watch movies at home. And I imagine that technology has changed a lot, where theaters or projectors are much cheaper now. But if you have the space, I mean, heck, we all have big walls in our house. We could put a huge screen up. You don't have to have a dedicated room for it.
Yeah. Elizabeth, that brings up something else, is that this has all been dealing with movies that have already been made. What do we do with these things? Now they're in the middle of, well, how do we continue making movies? Mm-hmm. And it is tough. Like the arrangement of everything, the budgets are changing because they add to the budgets with all these different approaches on how they make stuff. And people are making different choices. I could totally see maybe backing off of this idea of not necessarily big budget films, but sort of reevaluating what things actually cost. Because I mean, we know like the budgets on a lot of these things are outrageous for a bunch of different reasons. Part of that being they're paying for the big stars. What if we move towards this era where, unfortunately for actors, the paychecks just aren't there anymore? Maybe this is an industry where you only get like $10,000 or something for a movie. Go back in the old days, and we're not all hung up on is.
I'll do it.
Yeah, but I mean, you could.
Yep.
It's not like there's not enough actors out there, but to be able to put together smaller budget films, the distribution's there. Everybody can make a movie now, and there are endless number of streaming services that will accept a well-made movie. So I think the industry itself could change in how movies are made. After that, it's, how do we watch these? Obviously, we're getting more comfortable with the streaming.
My theory, and you were hinting at it, is we're going to see a shift in the number of theaters that will be around. Because honestly, I feel like, there were so many, it was kind of crazy. You had competition within any city to pick from 3 or 4 theaters. But I think what's going to happen is there's going to be a mass exodus of all the companies because they're going to go bankrupt that are currently in the theater business. And then when the world comes back to normal, whatever that may look like. I think either Amazon, Netflix, or actually my guess is Disney is going to step in, and they're going to have access to these giant theaters that they can then come in and maybe remodel or even just use in their current state to start blasting their own movies in there. What if Disney came in and now they could show all the Marvel, Star Wars, Disney, Pixar, and whatever other companies they end up owning at their own theaters without taking away, without a middleman? Now they make the film, they show the film, and then they can turn the front lobbies, which have for years been underutilized, into an entire merchandising experience. So you don't need your local Disney store. Merchandising. That's right. Get your Spaceballs flamethrower.
Yeah, I initially, when we were talking about this months ago, I thought that as well. Maybe like this is a time for production companies to move in and just sort of basically take over, to say, yes, they do. There's Pops selling at our theater.
Finally,
everywhere.
It took a long time,
but yeah, it's got a whole section of Pops and all kinds of stuff now. You go in there and you can buy hats and blankets and I don't know what else, but it's ridiculous. But so I looked into it, and it used to be that production companies actually did own many of the U.S. theaters. And there was a Supreme Court case in 1948 that said, nah, you can't do that. It's part of like the antitrust monopoly sort of ownership things. Well, it's because then it's a disservice for a number of reasons. One of those is that you're holding the movies hostage. Like if the production company owns a movie and wants to start charging $40 to go see it, and no other theater can do that, well, yeah, people could pay for it, but I mean that's the kind of thing that hopefully we try and avoid to serve the end consumer. But so they basically said, you can't do that, and so that's when we started to get all the movie theater chains and stuff, a diversity of chains, the theaters, and ultimately apparently that went towards better creative freedoms for other production companies to come in and make smaller budget films and get distribution. Because that's another thing, is what if Paramount decides to buy up all the other production companies, and then you will never see an independent movie ever again.
But that was old world thinking, and now we have all these ways to distribute films directly to homes.
True. Yeah. So if those avenues are still open, where maybe you never need to go to the theater, and a lot of them aren't, then yeah, sure. I think you probably could end up in that sort of situation. Maybe we just have Disney, which is what it's working towards anyway, is owning the world, and they just own all the movie theaters and every production company and everything in between. So
Finest Funko has a good question there, and this is something we actually talked about in one of our previous episodes. I can't remember exactly which one, but when Mulan first came out, and they did that $30 ticket, we were talking about how much money it made at theaters versus on the streaming service. And there were some numbers out then. I'm sure there's a lot more out now for us to show this comparison. But this is in a world where you don't have a choice, really. What does the world look like when the world goes back to normal and you have a choice between theaters and streaming? I think it's going to be very different, for sure.
Yeah, and I really can't predict it. Who was that last? So Mulan's a bit of an off one to work your numbers off of, because there was a bunch of outrage in China over it. So being able to get figures on that is kind of difficult, of what a normal movie, a successful film worldwide would be, versus one that was pretty much boycotted by an entire country, which is a big deal in China, since China is a huge film market. There's people that production companies that pretty much have a whole group that tries to appeal in any way possible to get Chinese audiences on board with these movies. So they will, just like I think we were talking about it before, where Vin Diesel is big over there, and so people wonder why he's still getting gigs. Well, it's because of China. They love the guy, and so it doesn't matter if the movie bombs in the U.S. It's going to do it's going to be a hot ticket over in China, and so they're still going to make a ton of money.
Well, I mean, for the last few years, we've been seeing a shift anyway. We've talked about a lot of the things that we've noticed with things being able to be streamed at home, but like there were some really weird decisions by like Netflix. Did that? What was that 4.5 hour too long movie with Robert De Niro and that came out?
I didn't see it.
Where he curb stomped the dude in slow mo. Anyway, that one came out. Irishman. Thank you, Corey Thompson. And they put it in theaters as well in the opening weekend while it was showing on Netflix. So I was starting to show you that some of the industries are trying to do some different things. Mulan, with them charging $30 at home, was an experiment in the COVID world. Exactly. There's a lot of ways that they were trying to do some different things. Now we've had our hand forced, but it clearly was a time for change. And so when all this is, I keep putting it in air quotes because I don't think we'll ever have normal again, but whatever the new normal is, I think we're going to see a real shift. I, for one, don't ever want to give up the theater experience. I like a big theater with surround sound. I like being in a crowd as long as no one's on their phone or talking and experiencing a film. And I don't ever want to give up on that. But it's very possible that the next generation will never be able to sit in a theater the way we did and enjoy a film.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it'll still be there. It will just possibly be different. And, 10, 15, 20 years from now, it'll cycle back and we'll just have this kind of theater all over again. It'll be retro at that point. Yeah, I don't know, Elizabeth. You bring up an interesting point with what are the awards shows going to be like this year? Or, for movies from this year. I really can't predict what they're going to do there because there's going to be all kinds of, either you're going to have asterisks all over the place, caveats everywhere, or people are going to have a lot of things to say about, no, you can't do it because we needed to postpone our movie, so that's not fair or something. I don't even know if they'll end up having the normal ceremonies. But then if you delay it, that's the opposite side of the coin where they'll say it's not fair that you delayed it because now we're going up a bunch of whole other movies that weren't even going to be out. So, yeah. I think we all love movies. And movie theaters. So
I love this comment, and I think this leads into one of the other topics we want to talk about, which is movie experiences. Willibard said, I like seeing the reactions of others and the whole vibe a theater crowd can get into when watching a movie. I'll let you talk about this next section.
Yeah, so we wanted to also talk about our best movie theater experiences. Times that you're at a theater where the audience really got into it, or maybe it was like one of the first movies you'd seen. You guys should list off your favorite movie. Yeah, Avengers Endgame was a huge one for a lot of people because everybody was so into it. It was massive, and I remember I had my own sort of things. Independence Day for me was a big one. Yep. That was a real moment where the audience, like you were all together, like you were unified, kind of like that Endgame thing where when it came time to fight back, we were all really excited and we cheered on everything. And it was really cool because you get that sort of collective experience, the joy and the tension and stuff. Matrix is a good one. Matrix, I have an interesting experience because that and Rambo. I went to both of those movies. I got there late, and the only seats that were open were in the front row, and nobody likes to sit in the front row. And I remember when The Matrix came on, people are like, all there was a black screen, but people were talking about something that was on the screen. And if you remember, there's text that begins in the upper left of the screen. Well, we couldn't see it. We were in the front row on the far right, and like, what's everybody talking about? And so we had to point, look way over there. So we were to lean back and see if we could read it. Whatever. That was hilarious.
That's how I saw Twister.
Oh yeah.
I was like, whole time.
Star Wars. Yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's one of the it's one of those things that generationally everything's different, right?
Yeah.
This is we're reaching the point where we don't understand those kids rock and roll music and that sort of thing. So I mean, this is where stuff sort of breaks over, and we talk about the good old days, you know. And next we'll be talking about our hip replacement or whatever, but that's hopefully a little bit further down the line. Yeah. So I had a couple other ones. There was twice that I remember literally falling out of my seat with laughter in the theater. Hot Fuzz. Yeah, Hot Fuzz. I embarrassed the hell out of Vanessa. Because it was in the first 2 minutes of the opening of the film, and I was cracking up so hard, and I fell out of my chair. And then Ace Ventura 2, I laughed so much at that stupid movie. And
it comes out of the rhino's butt.
Yeah, I said that yesterday. It was I was doing some stuff in the house here, and I had to turn off the air or the power, and I was working on something, got all heated up, and I came out, I was like, awful hot, and these are rhinos. She knew it. So you
got a good one there.
Yeah. A couple other things. There was a time I decided to sneak some beers into the theater. And
Shawshank Redemption.
It was back, I guess it was in the 90s when I was wearing cargo pants. Everybody was wearing cargo pants. So you had ultimate smuggling tools. I probably took a 12-pack into the theater, but it was
walking all funny.
I had to hold my pants up. It was so heavy, and they were clacking together and stuff. And I was like, how did anyone? I'm guessing everybody actually did notice me. I wasn't sneaky as I thought I'd be. They were just like, go on, you moron, just go in there.
I'm sure you had some pregame beverages that made you think you were super sneaky,
right?
And you weren't at all. I did the same thing for Starship Troopers. I had a big jacket with a giant pocket up here, and I had a 6-pack of bottles across the front. And they were warm by the time I got in, but they were still tasty. And then one knocked over and rolled all the way down to the front row about halfway through. I just knew we were going to get booted out, and we didn't.
Yeah. Blair Witch. Ms. Deadpool. Yeah, Blair Witch was a good one for me, too. I went to a theater in Houston where they weren't showing it in many theaters. And I remember seeing it there, and it was cool. It was the first time I'd ever seen it. It may have been the first sort of lost footage. Jurassic Park was amazing. There was that moment in there where the audience gasped together. They were all. It was as wondrous as they were trying to make it.
When he takes the glasses off and stands up out of the Jeep.
Yeah, somebody mentioned Rocky Horror Picture Show. Those are cool because the musical sort of things. Or we went to a couple things in Austin where it was interactive music videos. You'd go on Prince night or Madonna night, and they would just show all their music videos. And then everybody would just sing along and dance and stuff. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it did look like John in cargo pants.
For me, on my list of experiences, I still remember going and seeing Gremlins for the first time as a kid. I remember seeing Ghostbusters in the theater, and we saw it twice, but it was spaced out by 9 months because that's how they ran movies back then. Now we would have owned it on DVD by the time 9 months went by. But my biggest times where I really remember that the audience being a big part of it and a big deal was probably when the prequels came out for Star Wars, and we hung out with Corey, who's in the chat, and I used all the lasers ever playing video games before. Didn't know you could run out of lasers. And we went to the theater, we stayed up all night and went to the theater in the early morning. So it was this entire experience around going to see the films. I remember The Matrix. And I saw the trailer, and I was like, this is just going to be a special effects thing, but I'll go see it. And sitting in the theater when they revealed the towers of those pink batteries and just going just in total awe. I remember trying to think of, one of my favorite experiences, which is also one of my least favorite experiences, getting mad at people at the theater. I saw Gladiator in a completely packed theater, and a guy the other side, 4 rows down his theater, his phone went off, and I screamed, "Put away your phone!" across the whole theater, and everyone just started applauding. Or when I saw 8 Mile and the guys next to me decided to talk through the whole movie, and I threatened their lives. That was a fun moment. But I mean, so many different types of events in my life were around movie theaters and movie experiences, trying to go at a midnight showing to a Star Wars or a Marvel film. I don't ever want to lose that because it kind of reminds me in a way of the cons, the comic book conventions, which you haven't really gone to much in that world, at least not in the current state or the way it was 9 months ago. But nicely done, Display Geek.
Yeah, that's good.
But the feeling of standing in line with people who have a like interest and waiting for a big film and making line buddies and talking about theories before the film, or I remember going out to dinner with a bunch of friends after we all saw Sixth Sense and talking through that about how did we miss all these signs reference. How did we miss all these signs during the movie? That was so much fun, and I think a lot of that is stripped away if we watch it at home on Netflix while we're on our phones and we're not with a crowd of people.
Yeah, it is different. Boo Kitty mentioned, she might be the 1%er here that's okay with not going back. And I think okay is the right descriptor. Like, we're all going to be okay if we don't have to go back. But I think we just prefer it. And maybe it is part nostalgia. But I have a better experience at the theater. I enjoy it. I like the setting. And so I'd still like to go back. But yeah, if things change, we'll adapt. We always do. Yeah, what else was there? T2, yeah. That was a great one in the theater. Man. Well, James Cameron, he comes up in our trivia, but James Cameron is just and I think I ruined the whole trivia. But so you already know. But that man, he is part of movie theater experience. I think what Christopher Nolan is trying to be as well, like where they make movies that are made for a movie theater experience, right? They're all big, epic sort of things. Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw a 3D movie at theaters where I was just like, worth the money. Not one time. IMAX, on the other hand, worth the money for seeing those big, giant films. I like going to see a Jurassic Park in IMAX. God.
See, that was another thing. So when you say IMAX, are you talking about like the giant, like the 3-story high? Okay.
Yeah, the real deal.
Because they try and promote things as IMAX here. They're not IMAX theaters. Maybe they're slightly larger screens and the sound has more bass or something. But to me, IMAX is those giant 3-story high movie screens, which does change the experience. That is one of my didn't get to go to a bunch of those because you had to drive for a while to get to the true IMAX theater. I think it was in the museum or something. They didn't have those for real as movie theaters. And I think I saw I don't actually remember the movie. I think it was the I saw I Am Legend, I think. And it's just it was cool, but it's a different experience, and I really enjoy that. So I mean, the theater, depending on the arrangement and the setup, it does change that. 4D. Yeah.
I saw I forget what it was called, but there was an experimental type of theater that they reached out to us when we were doing Nerd Foo and asked if we would go see the movie and review it. And it was the newest Star Trek. I forget what the name of the movie was, but it was the second Star Trek film with the new crew. And it had the main screen, but there were also these extended screens over on the sides. And at certain points in the movie, it stretched to be an even more landscape with additional footage on the sides. And that was kind of cool. I like that they were trying some new things, but it was a little gimmicky, not as gimmicky as the 3D. The 3D to me just...
Yeah, 3D, there's a small select group, mostly the animated stuff that I will spend money on 3D. But even then, I don't have to. But anything else, nah. I don't really get much from it. I don't know, maybe my eyes, since they don't fully function all the way, are part of the problem, where I don't get the same effect that everybody else does. But yeah, I find it more of a gimmick. I don't think it's necessary.
Oh, that must have been the thing I was talking about. Ben Feldman. The Screen X. Yeah.
Of course. If you want to make something cool, just put an X on it. All right. So talked about our favorite movie experiences. You got to talk about some of your favorites. I mean, I've got a few more. But I also want to mention that we are going to be doing one of the normal format podcasts coming up soon, covering Blade. That's going to be a lot of fun. Big fan of Wesley Snipes. I want to see him in more stuff. I'm glad he's still doing some things. Can't wait for Coming to America. I think he's going to be awesome in that.
Next month.
We'll see.
on Amazon, I heard it was official, right? Didn't they buy it?
Yeah. So I think that'll be cool. I'm going to spend the money on that.
I'd like to take a moment before we move on to say, because I know we have a lot of people here, more than we've had on our YouTube streams. If you haven't listened to an episode of our podcast before, with the exception of the last couple special episodes we've done, the format for ours and what makes it unique is the fact that we watch a movie or a series of movies when we know there's a sequel coming out. Like one of our first ones was Coming to America, or we did Demolition Man because that's been confirmed by Sylvester Stallone. All the films that we chose. And not only do we watch the original film or films and give a rundown of them and a review and some cool behind the scenes facts, but then what I think is the real fun part and why we started down this journey was then we pitch our own idea for a sequel or a retake. It's not necessarily a sequel. It could be a prequel, a sequel, a spinoff, a series, a reimagining, a reboot, whatever. We give our own ideas on what the plot would be. We pick the actors and actresses involved in it. We pick the director. We even go further into it sometimes and really give you an overall sense of what that film would be. The idea being, people keep saying Hollywood's out of ideas. Well, BS. We have our own ideas, and we were trying to pitch them before the sequels came out in case we actually nail something that they end up doing. Or in case the movie really sucks, then we can go, we had a better idea, and we've got proof. We recorded it and put it out 6 months ago. Pitch, please. Exactly. It can be a bit pitchy, says W. Corey Thompson. But if you haven't listened to some of those episodes, they're a lot of fun. Check them out.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun doing them, and I think it's cool. We've covered some really good movies too, and yeah, you guys can find it pretty much on every platform. So Movie Retakes, look for that, and you can also go to movieretakes.com. The episodes are there as well as our pitches are actually in text format. So if you want to go back and reread those, I have done it a couple times, and it's pretty cool. And so all the content's over there as well. And obviously we've got our own Twitter, Movie Retakes, and our personal Twitters. And both of us are streaming now, so we're all over the damn place. One
of the other Sullys.
My wife has been on a couple of times. She's our resident horror movie expert. She forces me to watch all these movies. And then we've had our good friend of the show, Corey Thompson, on there in the Highlander episode, which was fantastic. So, yeah, sorry about that. Excuse me. Wasn't me. And, so check those out and give us some feedback, especially on the new formats and stuff. But, yeah, we're going to be covering Blade coming up next, so I'm excited about that. Who else is a big Blade fan? Everyone is the correct answer.
I won't spoil my thoughts on it.
Oh, okay.
Coming soon.
Yeah, I have no idea what I'm going to write for a pitch for that. That's part of the fun, is the pressure. What's going to happen? So now, trivia time. Is it too early for trivia? Never too early for trivia.
No, we're good. I can't see the notes, so I'll let you do the questions.
Okay.
But I can man the system in the back end and keep track of who wins. We're using Nightbot here, and I'll use their giveaway platform. I'll give you guys a keyword if you would like to participate in our trivia. For those of you who've already won a Movie Retake sticker, maybe hold off and let some other people participate because we've had several people that win multiple times, and I don't mind that, but we've got a lot of new people here this week. All you have to do if you would like to participate in our trivia is type in the keyword !pick me. Put that in the chat now, and then in a couple of minutes we will I'm going to put this, type in ! pick me for a chance to participate. I'll pick a couple of random folks here in just a minute, and then my brother will give you some questions. If you win, we will ship you out a sticker.
Mm-hmm. I don't suppose you have an example sticker on hand, do you?
I do. Let me grab that real quick. Looks like people are typing it in. I see it. I'm going to grab the sticker.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame to see Wesley go from the role, but I'm glad they're continuing the series. And I think Marshala will be good in there. I like that guy; he's cool. Yeah, that's one of the things we'll talk about on the podcast too. But yeah, you got your sticker already. Yeah, we finally got ours. They're pretty awesome. Good quality.
Oh, wrong. I was showing it to the wrong camera. There we go. There's the movie retake sticker. It looks a lot better in person. This is actually from Sticker Mule. I'm just on my backup camera right now. But you guys know the quality of Sticker Mule. They make great stickers. And these are a little bit smaller than the ones I have on my channel, which is great in case you have a laptop or an area that you're trying to fill in some of those different spaces. That gives you an idea. That also gives you an idea how bad quality that camera is. Whisper down to Logitech on that one.
All right. We giving them enough time?
I think so. Let's go ahead and pick our first participant. And I'm going to roll for a name. And wait a minute. What?
Uh-oh. No,
I got it. I typed in pick me wrong. That was a pro move right there. Let me try. Does this work? Okay, let's try this again. Type in ! Pick me. Do it. You guys were doing it right. I did it wrong in what I typed in the background. I don't normally use this system, but that's all on me. There we go. Now they're rolling in better. All right, we'll give it just a few seconds, and I'll go ahead and pick our first person. But y'all can keep typing in pick me. Our first participant will be Clint Crockett. Yeah. Oh, Clint's here. Come on.
All right, here we go. We're going to go in order. Some of these are pretty easy, Clint. We'll start. Oh, shizzle. Who's credited with creating the PG-13 rating? We've talked about this before.
We have.
A maker of film is responsible for this introduction of this other rating into the system. Who could it be?
I should know this considering I was on those podcasts. I think I know.
You never listen. Sandra Bullock, that's it.
Sandra Bullock for the win. Clint Crockett says Steven Spielberg.
The correct answer. Good job, Clint.
Good job.
Fantastic. Not Sandra Bullock. Oh, did you guys see that? So we mentioned Sandra Bullock on pretty much every episode. I don't know why it just started coming up that she was basically in every film. Wally. Yes. Did you know Sandra Bullock was also in the Wally suit? That's how they modeled. Wally was after her in a cardboard box. And so that we had that. Somebody did that reimagining of her as Neo. It's pretty funny. It looked pretty good. I mean, but it'd be a different movie. All right, who we got now?
Hold on.
I don't. It wasn't working. Temple of Doom. I think it was for. I didn't put it in the notes here. I want to say it was for. No, it wasn't for. It wasn't for Jaws. It was for. I don't remember. Vanessa's here.
Is it Flight of the Navigator?
No.
He didn't direct that. I remember seeing that with a curse word in it. I'm trying to figure what it was. E.T.? No.
Are we in a beard fight? That's dangerous.
Fight. Okay, our next Temple of Doom, says Real Ben Feldman. Next participant in the trivia will be Funko Photo Lady.
Fantastic. Funko Photo Lady. Are you prepared? The face melting off scene. That was pretty gross.
Yeah, that messed with me as a kid.
Where is the Funko Lady? Guess she didn't have to respond.
Yeah, there is a bit of a delay. We can go ahead and throw the trivia question at her.
All right. Yes. Kalima. Which movie had the biggest opening weekend ever in North America?
Funko Photo Lady, what say you? Do you have a guess?
Which give her movie 30 seconds. Biggest opening weekend ever so far? until my movie comes out.
You betrayed Shiva.
It was Jiggly.
Of course. All right, Funko Photo Lady, what do you have a guess? Or if you don't have any guess at all, you can just say no guess. But give us something here. Hopefully you're still with us.
Spelling out those words. Shakti Day.
Did we lose Funko Photo Lady? No, don't lose Funko Photo Lady.
It starts with the. I don't think
All right.
it does.
Countdown 10 seconds for Funko Photo Lady, and then we'll move on.
Time
5, 4, 3,
Ooh,
2,
running.
1. Can I guess?
You can.
Biggest opening weekend of all time in theaters? Avengers Endgame.
You can give yourself a sticker and save postage.
I'll make the delivery myself. All right,
Mac
next,
and me.
Mac and me. All right.
They should just start doing. Forget it. Like they should just start doing social experiments. Make the only movie available for the next 2 years, Mac and Me, and see if people just start going because they've got no choice.
Oh my God! Can you name it other things? But it's always Mac and Me.
Wasn't that the
Paul
clip?
Rudd.
No, the clip that he would use on. Oh yes, it was Paul. Yeah, right. Whenever
every time he guested on Conan or I forget which show it was, he would always go, "I got to highlight in my new film," and then it would always be that scene where the kid on the wheelchair goes down over the cliff.
That guy's the best.
Oh, I love Paul Rudd. I want to hang out with Paul Rudd. Over 13 years of him running that gag, that's amazing. Okay, next up in our trivia will be Yamster 8888, because when this trivia hits 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious
Is that person still here? There we are.
Whoop, whoop.
This is an easy one, Yamster, especially if you've been listening to our podcast, which you should. What is the fake movie franchise? I'm going to do a robot. What is the fake movie franchise featured in the Scream films?
I
So
knew
it's
that's
not
where we were
Scream.
going.
The other one.
I love batteries not included. That's a good call, Mad Sweet.
Yes, except you forgot the asterisk at the beginning. Always messes up the order of my movie.
Clint Crockett is wrong. Clint Crockett is still wrong.
Stream froze.
Only on your end, bud. Working fine here. I'm watching on a separate computer, so I know. Yamster. Oh, no.
Close.
Hold on, wait. Don't say the answer. Let's
You get
give
half a
Yamster a second chance, and if I tell you it's only 4 letters, does that help?
It probably.
I don't think it's going to.
You get the back of a sticker, the part that doesn't have the image on it. You get the other side.
Sorry, Yamster. The answer is.
Who else has got it?
Did anyone say it?
Not yet. Well, they were holding up. Thank you, Corey.
Corey got it in 2 parts.
Messages.
Don't worry, Yamster. There will be more opportunities in the future.
Yeah, all the live ones we're gonna do some trivia, so that should be a lot of fun. Come back and do it again. All right, let's do. Where are we at? We got 9 minutes left. Maybe 1 or 2 more of these, and then we have some that I thought would be kind of fun. Do the sort of a Price is Right sort of thing, closest number without going over. It can be a group.
Bodega.
All right, Night Bodega.
No, I'm not picking somebody twice. Night Bodega, you're up.
Rigged. Which actors' combined movies have the top box office grosses of all time? Who?
So a pair of actors? One actor.
Their combined movies have the top box office grosses of all time. May not always be the lead in the movie. Who could it be? Who, when you look back and you're watching a movie from like the 1800s, like, what's he doing in that movie? Oops, you know the gender.
Yes, Funko.
Mickey Rooney. That's it.
Sandy Bullock.
Sandra Bullock is the answer every time. Sylvester Stallone. Clark Gable.
I have a guess.
Where's our contestant? Kelly Cuoco?
Manny, what's your answer?
Well,
Do you have an answer? I'll give you 15 seconds. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7,
Googlers
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, it's one actor. My brother clarified. It's one actor combined box office for their entire career, highest of all time. We'll give you another few seconds. I'm sorry, I derailed it with my misunderstanding of the original question. So he says, let's give him, if it's either one of these, he could be right. Sam Jackson or Tom Cruise. Is either one correct?
It is Sam Jackson.
Is it really?
Other folks kept throwing out the answer.
So Night Bodega for a win. I love it.
While Sam Jackson's made the most money, Tom Cruise has run the longest distance.
Clear. My guess was going to be Harrison Ford, but
yeah. So that's the thing. It's just Sam is in all of these little movies with these little parts and stuff, where those movies happen to be the biggest things ever. And yeah, for a while I would watch a movie from the 80s or something, and I'm like, what?
Coming to America?
I'm pretty sure he's a time traveler, and he went back in time and got those roles, inserted himself into it. So I think the next few we could do is more of a group activity. This might be difficult for us, but we'll have to watch the thing. Chris the Derailer, where we're looking for a number. So Price is Right rules, highest, closest without going over, right?
Ooh, okay.
So group activity, everybody can answer, and we'll see. I guess I'll have to watch because you don't have the notes to see who's over there. All right. What movie theater chain, or I'm sorry, the theater chain, I have to reword this. Theater chain Wanda Cinemas out of China. How many screens do they have in total across all their?
Ooh.
So guess a number.
The whole chain. All their theaters, how many total screens do they have? And they're based in China.
That's right.
So I'm guessing some of you look like you're going number of screens that would appear in one theater. Or you could just be playing the game and thinking maybe they only have one theater. Wow, there's a lot of numbers. All right, we'll give everybody 10 seconds and then we'll see who that is. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
So
Synergy's the last person in.
The person that was actually closest was my wife. So I have to disqualify her.
Yeah.
She's already got a sticker. So now stop answering.
What was the answer?
Well, 15,000. Who's
no
closest?
Kidding. Display Geek went over. Clint Crockett went over. Mr. 250 said 1,300. I think that. Oh, nope. Yeah, your wife was a little over that. I think Mr. 250 is our winner.
Where's that?
Did anybody else come between 13,000 and 15?
Well, somebody, wait, who was it? Right there at the end, actually. 12.5 Funko Lover.
Yeah, but that was after we said the answer.
No,
I think it's yeah.
Cool.
Mr. Right, 250 is our winner.
It's a shame it wasn't 250. Oh, okay. 12.5. Good. All right, that's cool. Good participation. Shocking. Yeah, they actually have less theaters than Cineworld. Let's see, they have Cineworld, which has more than double of Wanda's theaters, only has 9,500 screens. So I guess these are just massive, like, city block locations. Pretty cool. All right, what looking for a number here again. This country, Bahrain, as of 2017, has the highest movie ticket price? Now, this is converted over into US dollars. So what is basically the question is, what is the highest regular movie ticket price? Highest without going over.
And while y'all are doing that, Funko Lover 30, I got you. I'm going to take care of you as well. I see your comments. I got you. I'll reach out. Highest.
These are unrealistic. Regular movies, like not Fifth Dimension.
Your daughter says $80. Crockett, why do you always put the little tilde in front of it? You're saying about 75? This is an exact number we need here. What are you doing, bud? Isn't that what that's called? A tilde?
Yeah. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I believe Misty actually you answered again, Misty. How many times? Well, you were right. I already announced it. You were right. And it was really close between you and Ben. The answer is $17.48. You answered Ben answered $17.53. You went over by 5 cents.
Whoa.
Misty got it $17.25. I believe she was the closest. If I'm wrong, everybody can shout out at me. So good job. Closest.
I think we got time for one more of those?
One more.
Another one?
All right. This person, Joanne Connor of Australia, to get the world record of most consecutive viewings of the same film, had to see, or she saw this film, Bohemian Rhapsody of all films, this many times. So to get the Guinness record for most consecutive watches of one film, how many times did she see it?
One guess.
Without going
over. Without going over. Yeah,
one
guess. Right rules. Display Geek, not a number, just a Mac and me. You think Adnar thinks this person saw the movie 365 times? Wow. Vanessa, one time too many.
It's a hard guess. Like I never would have guessed the number.
If that was right, I'd be really shocked, Adnar. But I respect you going high because that could be part of the game here.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't go over.
Such a range. Nobody really knows what's reasonable, right? Well, I guess that's the point of the Guinness thing is it's not really reasonable.
Okay, we'll stop guesses in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last person to get an entry in was Gal 2060. So what do you got?
I forget what the sound effect is for an exact answer.
No.
But where'd you go? Divine 1SF with 108. You nailed it. It's exactly
no way.
Joanne Connor saw Bohemian Rhapsody 108 times. So I don't know if you get a bonus or anything for that. Maybe slip a penny in there with her.
A penny?
Whatever's the coin that weighs the least. A dime, I guess. Or maybe you can sign something for her. I'm saying her. I don't know. Divine 1SF.
I know. Isn't it funny how you make assumptions based on the name, and then I'll often find out I'm completely wrong.
Yeah.
I would just want to check one thing. I think I have everybody's information that I need, with the exception of maybe Divine, actually. Oops. To get the stickers.
Just missed it by 92. It's close. Yeah, and somebody apparently in Winnipeg is trying to beat Joanne. I didn't see if they beat her yet, but was seeing his movie was Tenet, and he had already seen it 60 times, which
that's a lot of times to see a movie. And what qualifies as seeing? Could you sleep through it?
Well, that's the thing is, are you really paying attention after 60 times? I mean, I put on a movie and don't watch the whole movie. Like, I can do that multiple times, but in a theater, I think. Actually, I don't know what the qualifier is, but I'm assuming it's theater.
God, that's a big budget.
Had a lot of fun. I really appreciate everybody coming out. This was cool. We will do more of these. Try to be on a regular basis. And so, yeah, look out for, if you're not following on all our various locations, please do follow here as well on Twitch. And yeah, we'll have some more of these. We'll try and add some more content instead of just these live discussion ones. Maybe we'll have some strictly trivia episodes or something. Who knows?
Yeah, we were trying to do them bi-weekly, but the next one would land on the day before Thanksgiving. So I don't think we'll be doing that, but we'll try to schedule something around those 2-3 weeks from now to get in front of you guys again at the latest. Like you said, maybe we'll come up with some other ideas on things to do.
Maybe it took 60 times to see tenants to actually decipher all the dialogue, because yeah, that was one of the complaints. You couldn't tell what anybody's saying. Yeah. Also, happy Veterans Day is really happy. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Veterans. It's an odd thing to say. Remembrance Day here in Canada. So thank you for your service, all you veterans out there. And we do appreciate that on both sides of the border. And yeah, I'll stream. It's not, yeah, it's true. It's not Thanksgiving here. Yeah, so be sure to catch us wherever you can. Boo kitty. All kinds of stuff. And we both are streaming now, so please find us on our own Twitch channels and stream there. And yeah, follow us over and subscribe to us on the podcast Movie Retakes on your favorite listening platform. And yeah, somebody mentioned early on, we do like those reviews. The 5-star ones are the greatest ones, as is our show. So we deserve those 5 stars. Give it to us and leave some kind words. And thank you, everybody, for stopping out by tonight. Support a writer, read a book. That's my sign off.
I like that. And for me, as usual, nerds unite.
Bye, everybody.
And hold for 5. And